Hey guys, welcome to another video. So today I've got something extremely special planned, and it's been in the works for a couple of days now, since last week. So last week I was working on Canva, and I was working on a special project, and Canva has not just stock images like stock photos, but they also have stock videos. And I found some, made a project. It's really fun, but that's not what we're talking about today. So I had the idea to have a random list of keywords, and then the first video, stock video that popped up, I'd have to write a story about it. And most creators on YouTube would have a professional editor who edits their videos, and like some of the singer-songwriter YouTubers would have their editor pull a list together and compile it together, and then they would react to it or do something with it. And so if I had an editor, that would be what I would do, is have the editor put together a list of stock videos, and then I would just have to watch them and write stories based off them. I don't have that. So what I did instead was I asked my fan group on Facebook, JW Warriors, link in the description below, to give me 10 random keywords, but I didn't tell them what I was doing. So I'm going to go through the list of keywords that they sent me. I think there should be 10 of them. That was the goal. And I have to write at least a 100-word story on the first stock video that comes up for each keyword. And so we're going to get through this and see, we're going to look and see how silly this is going to be. So first of all, I have to turn on my internet. That would help. I'm excited. Honestly, I've had a lot of these YouTube videos planned where I do some writing stuff, but I didn't do it for a while because I was focused on writing and shadow magi, and when I'm writing a novel, I want to keep my head in that novel, so I literally don't write anything else until I'm done with it. So now that I'm done with shadow magi, I'm finally getting around to all of these fun little writing challenge things that I have to do, so I'm very excited. So I post a lot in my fan group. A lot of it's random. If you want to join, again, the link's in the description below. We post a lot of things like this where it's like, what's your favorite carnival food? And, you know, what's better? Pajamas, no cooking, laundry. You know, I own a ridiculous amount of fill in the blank, that sort of stuff. So occasionally I'll pull them with... Yeah, okay. So I said, all right, everyone, I need 10 random keywords. They will be used in a YouTube video I'm going to film, preferably visual things, obviously clean. Drop them in the comments. So there's 21 comments. Some of those are me replying to comments. So I will share the video as soon as I post it, which is when you'll find out what I use the keywords for. So the first one we have is from Cinia Clark. Shout out to you. I got to go to Canva, and it's sunset. So I'll have to write at least a 100-word short story about the first sunset video that pops up. So I'm going to create a video. And see, we go to videos, and then we type in the keyword here. So I'm just going to type in the keyword sunset, and we pull the first one that comes to mind, that comes up. So let's watch it. Okay, so the first thing I see in this video is obviously the birds and the what looks to be like a cruise boat on the side of the city. I've been on one for my first anniversary. I live at the Lake Ozark. I live near Lake Ozark, so we went on celebration cruises, I think is what it's called, for our first anniversary. So lots of experience. I get very motion sick. I call it, I got seasick, even though we're technically on a lake, but isn't that funny? So I see these two couples. She's like throwing something, I'm assuming bread maybe, to feed the animals, or not animals, but to feed the birds. So immediately I'm thinking, okay, there's my character. They're on a cruise for their anniversary, pulling from some real life inspiration. So let's just start writing and see what happens. So I'm going to do video 1, keyword sunset. Okay, so I'm going to start writing. Enjoy this fun little time lapse.
Live your life within the moment, and don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. get older, older. So let us dance this night away. Our bodies move to the groove and the light that flickers.
Okay, so we've got our little story. I don't know whether I should read them all afterwards. I'll read them now, so insert the little video here. Maria stared at the birds diving into the water. The sunset cast the world in an orange and pink hue that reflected off the water. It's almost like they're playing or dancing, she murmured to her husband. Her husband, Daniel, laughed and nodded to her. You do realize they're just trying to eat, right? Maria narrowed her eyes at him and rested her arms on the railing at the back of the cruise boat. Let me live my life in innocence, okay? They're not eating fish, they're dancing. At that, they both chuckled, especially since one of the birds dove into the water and emerged with a fish in its mouth. She was squeamish when it came to animals or even sea life being eaten, even though it happened all the time. Maria whirled around to face her husband just as he planted a kiss on her forehead. He smiled at her. I love you anyway, you know that? Maria returned his smile. Of course. Happy anniversary, Danny. So the total word count is 169 words, so I'd say we got over 100. That was not at all what I was trying to go for, but as I was writing, it just kind of happened, and my goal here is to write them as quickly as possible, so that's the one we got. That's what we ended up with. So that was the keyword sunset and the video that came with it. So the next word from Heather Pruitt is armadillo. Oh boy. How do I even spell this? Okay. We actually have armadillos that come around on occasion. Oh, armadillo. No S. Give me a second. Oh, how wonderful. That's its butt. So basically, it looks like it's digging in the ground, and the video is of the armadillo's butt. How am I supposed to... Oh my gosh. What am I supposed to do writing a 100-word story about an armadillo? Do I even name the armadillo? What am I going to name the armadillo? Jake? Oh, boy. Why must you make this difficult? Well, in their defense, I didn't tell them what I was doing with them. Okay. So, I'm going to try to write at least a 100-word story about an armadillo and its butt digging in the ground. Okay, so.
We get lost in the crowd, it's getting thicker. We get away from the...
No, and this video isn't exactly helpful because it's just the butt. Okay, I'm just gonna guess. So, this is not at all accurate. This is not Discovery Channel. This is not accurate at all.
Bring some chatter. Haven't said a word, but it doesn't matter. Standing in a blurry dream. No one else can see her. Live your life.
At this point, I don't know what I'm doing. I honestly don't know what I'm doing. Please tell me that's 100 words. 123! We did it! It's really stupid! Oh my goodness. By the way, I should have put a disclaimer at the beginning of these videos. I am sorry for how stupid these are, but obviously the whole point is to just write a story about the first stock video that comes up, so it's definitely a challenge. I honestly had no idea what to do about an armadillo digging in the ground. First of all, I don't even know what they eat, so I just called it lunch. I didn't really specify what it was, but let's read. And overlay the video with this. I know it's here somewhere, Jake thought. He dug his claws into the ground and shoved his head inside the newly formed hole. Somewhere around here he had buried his lunch, but now he couldn't remember where he'd put it. He could smell it, sweet and tasty, that made his stomach growl, but for some reason he couldn't find it anywhere. The smell grew stronger after he shoved his head. I thought it said shaved his head. Can you imagine an armadillo with a shaved head? There's gotta be a meme like that somewhere, right? Oh dear. The smell grew stronger after he shoved his head inside the hole in the ground. Ah, it's here somewhere, he thought. Jake crawled inside the hole, burying his entire body inside so that only his backside stuck out. I had to include that because, I mean, the clip is literally just the armadillo's butt. There it is. At last, Jake found his lunch, so he ate his fill and disappeared inside the hole to take a nap. Delicious. I don't know what to do. Forgive me. I promise my books are better than this, but these are going to be really terrible, really cringy, terrible writing. This is like kid me all over again. I do not write like this. There's going to be tons of mistakes. Forgive me. I write better than this. Okay, so that is our second keyword, which is armadillo. Thanks for that, Heather Pruitt. Next is mountains. So this is from the Writer's Cross. So mountains, like plural. Okay. Hopefully this will be something I can utilize. All right, let's see what we got here. Looks like there's people skiing, actually. Ooh, there's a carriage. Is that a carriage? Yes! Bro, we've got a carriage!
In the moment, and don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older. So let us dance this night away.
Okay, so I actually ended up really getting into this one, and let's double check the word count on it. It's 166 words, so we got there. So, Mount Gurno was a popular tourist destination. Then again, it was why Nick had chosen it for his date with Olive. They sat together in a carriage as it bumbled and rocked through the snow. The driver sat in front of them, keeping hold of the horse's reins as it trotted through the snow. The horse itself was sturdy and strong, with larger hooves meant to travel through snow like this. This is so breathtaking, Olive whispered. She gaped at the mountain ahead of them in awe, where it towered above them, almost as if it rose up into the heavens itself. Nick smiled and draped his arm over the back of the carriage around her shoulder. His family had come from money, so he saw stuff like this all the time, but not Olive. Her family barely had a penny to their name. Olive, there's something I want to ask you. His fingers fiddled with the ring inside his pocket. Nick hoped she said yes. Cliffhanger! So I actually managed to, I can't believe I managed to end one of these stories in a cliffhanger, or that I liked the story enough to end it on a cliffhanger. So with that one, I obviously was more inspired for that one than I was for the armadillo one. But the armadillo one was fun and definitely a challenge. I like challenging myself as a writer. So that one, as soon as I do, I was like, okay, if we're not doing an anniversary, then what are we doing? And I was like, oh, a proposal, duh. So what better way to do that than taking, because it can't just be like a normal old date. I mean, maybe that's just me, because dates in my small town was to McDonald's or Walmart. But it's like, no, if you're going on a date, it's just, you can't just take her to a mountain for a date. There's got to be something more to the story, right? So, but I like the idea that we don't know whether she's going to say yes or no. But yeah, so I also like the he's rich, she's poor thing. That was really interesting. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so that was our third video? Yeah, that was our third video. So we're on keyword number 4. Ravens. Okay, ravens. And all these animal videos, is it plural? Yeah, all these animal videos gonna be killing me. Okay, there's 2 of them. Good. We might be able to play off that. Alright. George and Bob. We're doing a George and Bob. Okay, so with this one, I really liked the idea of these 2 ravens. I'm still getting like this kids movie feel where these 2 ravens are buddies, but they have this interesting like dynamic with each other. And I didn't end on a cliffhanger, so with this one I did a full circle ending where it ends with the same line it begins at, but it kind of has a different meaning now. So it was this really fun little trick. Okay, so anyways, let's read. See anything yet, Bob? George lifted his beak into the air, but with all this blasted snow, visibility was low. Nope, sure don't, George. Bob, of course, had his beak into his feathers as he was cleaning himself. George rolled his eyes and fluttered his wings in frustration. I'm starving, Bob. Get your beak out of your feathers and help me search for food, you lazy bum. At the name, Bob lifted his beak and stared down at him. Who you calling lazy, bird brain? George glared at him and poked Bob with his beak. Take that back. Soon as you take back your lazy bum comment, Bob huffed. Never. At that, the two birds charged toward each other, feathers flying in every direction, beaks poking every part they could reach. Above them, snow had gotten too heavy on a branch, so it fell on top of them, throwing both ravens to the ground. Oof, George groaned. Okay, Bob said. That hurt. George grinned. Hey, look, Bob, there's food. Just as George and Bob prepared to hobble over to it, a wolf pack leapt out of the trees and got to it first. With a sigh, George flew back up into the tree with Bob at his side. See anything yet, Bob? I don't know why, but I really love that. Maybe it's just me. Maybe you guys think I'm crazy. Oh, like this crazy author who's laughing at nonsense and writes terribly. So, keyword number 5 is shout out to Greg O'Connor for that one. Linda Harms, Victorious. Oh my, Victorious. This is a lot of pressure to make it sound victorious, so. Oh, I love this one. I don't know, the word was like so touching. It's 191 words on the story, so let's read it and then we'll talk about it. Hunter doubled over where he breathed heavily, limbs shaking. All of his hard work, and he'd finally done it. Everyone told him that he'd never be able to run again, and he'd certainly never be able to win another track meet, but here he was, first place. His body hurt and ached all over, so much so that he could barely hobble over to where the judge wanted him to face the audience, as he would be presented the medal. But as he stood beside the judge, insert dog noise captions here. But as he stood beside the judge, the pain vanished behind the accomplishment, behind the fact that he'd done it. Hunter, what an amazing run that was. Your story's an inspiration to everyone across America, the judge said. He placed the medal around Hunter's neck. Hunter stared at it and grasped the medal. He nodded, and his eyes gazed at all the news reporters gathered around them to listen to his story. I mean, after I was paralyzed, the doctor said I would never walk again, and here I am. It's a miracle, and I couldn't have done it without God or my family. He's the one who made me victorious. That is such a beautiful story, so heartwarming, and I felt like I stick to the theme of the word, and this just gave me the whole vibe of, okay, somebody won first place, but it was like, did they just only win first place, or let's give them a greater thing to be victorious over? So that was from Linda Harms. Next we have Kayla Coepers. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Forgive me. Sardines. Oh my gosh. Did you guys know what you were doing to me? Well, at least it's actual fish. Okay, well, there's no people, but obviously the diver's filming that. Oof. I'm really tempted to just add a mermaid in here for fun, but I will stick to the video. Okay, I didn't know if that was 100 words or not, but we managed to get it to 150. Okay, so Nicole clutched the camera and grinned. What a great shot. Actually, it was perfect. The school of fish, sardines, she thought, twirled and circled around her. The way they stuck together and moved together, it was like a dance without a choreographer. Every time Nicole saw it, she felt in awe of God's creation. Other fish swam around the beautiful coral reef, but the school of sardines topped them all. They shifted and moved through the currents of the water, and Nicole was perfectly content in her diving gear, just filming them. She could live in the water if it was possible. It was why she spent so much time diving. The ocean fascinated her, as did sea life and everything inside it, especially since humankind wasn't even close to exploring the whole ocean yet. It was vast, just like God. Thank you, Father, for this moment, she mentally prayed. So if you haven't already noticed, I include God in a lot of my stuff, so it's kind of a go-to thing, and it's also helping me to get inspired for these things, because some of these are, like, really tough. Like, what was I supposed to do? So I was like, well, somebody's holding the camera, so we'll go with that angle, and just the idea of the ocean fascinates me. I would be terrified if I was in it, but, like, pouring myself into her character, and also her name. I really like the name Nicole for some reason. So that really clicked. So that was number 6. So I think we have she offered a few more extra ones, so we'll look at those in a minute because I want to get to all the main people who commented, and she already had one featured. So the next word, number 7, comes from Tiana Rena Perry. I am so sorry I butchered your name, and it's tome. Let's see what's on her thing. How is this a tome? Apparently that's a country or an island. What the heck? I have to use the first video that pops up. What am I supposed to do? $100 words for this. What am I supposed to do? I was expecting a magical tome, like, you know, an epic spell book or something. Why? Why are you doing this to me, Canva? The dogs probably think there's something actually wrong with me. $137, thank goodness. Okay, so that was hard. I was like, what in the world am I going to do for this? I think me and Tanya or Tanya, I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name, we're expecting like a tome, like an ancient book, and this is what we got. Sao tome. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a place. So I was like, okay, well, it's a globe, so what if they're in a plane? I'm scared of planes, so we'll do this girl being scared. That'll work. So that's basically the idea that I went with for this one, because it's all I could think of for this one. And I did have them flying to Sao Tome, so it did have something to do with the video. Sadia nervously pressed her lips together and clutched the arms of her seat. The plane around her rocked and jerked, so she squeezed her eyes shut. It felt like they were going to crash. Any second now, she could practically see death coming for her. Relax, her brother Felix said beside her. It's just a bit of turbulence. We'll be in Sao Tome soon. Not soon enough, Sadia murmured. Another jerk sent her body into a frenzy, so every muscle inside her tensed. It was worse if she looked out the window on her right, so instead she closed her eyes. That, of course, only made her imagine things, so she forced her eyes open. Hey, Sadia, look at me. Felix grinned at her. Look right at me. It's all going to be fine. But was it? But was it? We don't know. I decided to end on a cliffhanger, but that was a little bit cliche. So video number 8, the keyword is, we're going, it looks like there's no new ones, so we're going to go back up because Kayla, I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm sorry, I'm butchering your guys' names. Wolves and horses. So we're going to do wolves first. Wolves. Aww. Okay, so this one is 172 words, so let's read it. Shadow may have been the alpha male of the local wolf pack, but he loved getting to play, especially when it snowed. He dug a snout into a huge pile and lifted his behind up in the air with a playful yip. One of his packmates, a female called Bouncy, leapt toward him like a fox. She pounced on top of him, and the two tumbled through the snowy hill in a series of playful yips and snarls. Shadow tugged on her ear, but Bouncy leapt away from him. She jumped several times around him in a circle, precisely where she got her name from. He lowered himself with his behind in the air again and yipped at her once more. This time, when she leapt toward him, Shadow slipped out of the way. Bouncy tumbled over in the snow and snorted as she shook it off. Shadow yapped and ate some of the snow in front of him. They were going to have to look for food soon. Playtime was over. So this one was not as childish. It was more realistic in the sense of wolves actually acting this way. And I have 3 dogs, so I was kind of like getting the dynamics there, where they're kind of playing together, but now they're hungry, so it's time to get serious because he's still, you know, the alpha male of the pack. So I really liked this one. This one was really cute. Wolves and horses. Okay, so let's do horses. Okay, it's the first one. They're so pretty. My creative juices are starting to run a little low. This one was not as good as the wolves, although I love horses. I love wolves too. Let's see if we're over. Please be over 100 words. 128. Whew. That was close. All right, so let's read this. This sucks. Disclaimer, this sucks. Caption. The sky rumbled overhead with an oncoming storm. The stallion and leader of the herd knew he had to get the herd to safety before it came. Here on the plains, the storms could get bad, especially lightning, but before the storm came, the horses decided to get as much running in as possible. The stallion never felt more at home than when he was galloping across the plains with his herd. The others kept up with him, and the entire herd zipped across the plains. They neighed and whined playfully, enjoying the time together before the rains. But the sky continued to darken overhead, so the stallion led them to safety. They would have to wait out the storm, but after that, they could return to running. This one sucks. I am so sorry. I was running out of ideas. My creativity's starting to die out. I mean, altogether, these stories have been over 1,400 words, so we're 1,486 words just in these stories alone. And I'm starting to run low on ideas, especially when I look at a clip, I'm like, what am I supposed to do there? So this one was literally just like me putting words together to hit 100 words. It's terrible. But we're on our last one, if we have a last one, which I think she provided one more. Purple People Eater. Well, this should be interesting. Here it is. Purple People Eater. What? What does this have to do with anything? This isn't even a video. Oh, okay. I don't know what type of bird that is, but I'm going to make it a hawk. Yes! Yes! Yes, yes! We have done it! It's 150 words. We, and by we, I mean me, I've done it. I've written a short at least 100-word story on 10 random keywords that were given to me by other people. And the keywords, it was the first video in each keyword, the first video that popped up for each keyword. So let's read through this one and then we're finally done. The hawk soared above the desert, searching for anything to eat. Cactus rose up from the ground, and other than the rocks, I think it's cacti, but whatever. And other than the rocks, they were the only feature down below. The hawk landed on a hill so he could get a clear view of everything around him. Then he finally saw it, a human. It stood below the hill with a strange black device in its hands. The hawk didn't know what it was, but he charged down toward them. This was his territory, so he wasn't going to let a human take anything from him. Let alone steal any food here. He cawed and swiped at the human with his talons. The human ducked and the strange black device fell to the ground. The hawk swooped it up and returned to the skies carrying the black device in his hands. No, not my camera. Ah, you stupid bird. So, this has been a fun little writing challenge, writing short stories on stock videos, the first videos that pop up for each keyword given to me by other people. I'm going to have to come up with a really creative title for this one. But we've got 10 short stories, 10 keywords. I want to thank you to everybody who gave me a keyword. So shout out to everybody there. I'll probably be tagging you guys in the video. So shout out to everyone. This was a lot of fun. It was definitely a creative challenge. Some videos were easier to come up with stories than for others. Like I said, I was getting really tired and couldn't come up with anything good for the Horses one, which is weird because you'd think I would, but the purple people eater, the idea of the bird swooping and attacking a human just kind of clicked with me. So this has been a really interesting challenge. Altogether, all stories are 1,641 words. So this is really interesting. It's been a nice little challenge. If you're an author, try it out. See what you think. Take these same keywords, type them into a search bar. If you don't want to do videos, you could do pictures via Canva, or you could do pictures from the site called Pixabay, and see what kind of short stories you can come up with. And let me know how it goes in the comments below. So I wanted to shout out to Canva. I use Canva for pretty much everything, and including making book trailers and creating graphics, creating base images for cover designs. If you creating teasers and creating images for Instagram. If you're not an author, you could still use it for things like making graphics, making quotes for Instagram to share on your social media, or, not just Instagram, but any social media. So if you'd like to use Canva, you can try it out for free. And if you end up enjoying it, you could use Canva Pro, which is really cheap. I think it's only like $12 a month. A lot of these clips were actually from Canva Pro. It looks like all of them, except for this one maybe. Yeah, so all of these, except for the mountains one, was used with Canva Pro. So you get a lot of different really good images when you use Canva Pro. So I'll have a link in the description below if you'd like to sign up. If you use that link, I get a little bit of money from it. So it really helps me out and helps me to be able to earn some money so that I can keep doing what I love, which is writing and publishing stories. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. It really helps me, and it tells YouTube that to show my video to more people. So again, please like this video and subscribe for more writing and reading videos every Monday.
Live your life within the moment, and don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older. So let us dance this night away.